Part 2. Azure Moon. Pegasus Moon. Valley of Torment. Having repelled the Imperial Vanguard, the kingdom must now supplement its meager forces. And so it requests reinforcements from Rodrigue, who is busy resisting Cornelia's army in Fraldarius territory.
You made it.
We received a reply from my father. You should read it too.
Gilbert has filled me in on the details. He tells me you are in immediate need of additional troops. I would like to say that I will gather reinforcements and send them to the monastery at once. However, I cannot afford to leave the front lines for that long. Would you be willing to meet us south of Fraldarius territory in Ailell, the Valley of Torment? Ailell is halfway between the monastery and our territory. There, I will deliver the soldiers you require.
Ailell lies on the border between Kingdom territory and Alliance territory. Humans dare not approach that place.
He's right. In Ailell, we can meet up with them without our enemy ever finding out.
Once my old man delivers his soldiers to us, then our war against the Empire can finally begin.
The path ahead will be a difficult one, Your Highness. Deadly, in all likelihood.
True. But what's the point in wavering now? Father, stepmother, Glenn, and even Dedu. I am certain this will bring them great joy. I know if I can just offer them Edelgard's head. I just know it.
Ailell, the Valley of Torment.
Do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived. Oh, have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers' Academy. He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest. My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility. He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble. I know he's just thinking of himself, but can't he see that this isn't a priority when we're at war? I don't know what to do about this proposal. I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I must. I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself. I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no. I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church. Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream. It's just, I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me. I convinced myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality. I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers' Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me. I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several times, but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement I need. That's a very good point. We're only given one life, so we must do all we can to pursue our happiness. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth, that I found a life worth pursuing and I must decline the proposal. Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else. Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious? I'm just teasing. Now I'm off to write this letter and stand my ground. Thank you for your encouragement.
Wow! Thanks for inviting me. Whoa! You got my favorite tea! Oh, wow! Thanks! Huh? Yep. You don't say much, so you're easy to talk to. No way! Huh. Wow! Huh? Whoa! What you think? Oh, definitely! Wow! What you think? Professor! Huh? No boring lectures, okay? If you hear anything, it's not my stomach grumbling, just so you know. Thanks for the tea. I hope you'll invite me again.
My room works better for me, but I am willing to compromise. For today. My, but you have exquisite taste in tea. This is one of my favorites. I always try to keep some around. Thank you. Delicious. Indeed. Well then. What? Yes. What? Well then. The crest of flames shares many traits with other crests, yet it also has many unique characteristics. Professor. Something wrong with my monocle? It is a custom-made piece, yet still problematic sometimes. I don't think you do seem to have a mark of the exceptional about you. Thank you for a wonderful time, Professor.
I am steeling myself to see my father again. I can't stand that old man. Yes, I do. Above all, I hate the crazed nonsense that comes out of his mouth.
It seems Arianrode, one of the kingdom's sturdiest fortress cities, has fallen to the Empire. It looks like Count Ro didn't resist, and switched sides to the Empire straight away, repaying all that the royal family has done for him with betrayal. How shameful.
These past 5 years, Lord Rodrigue worried for His Highness more than any other. But I wonder what he would say if he saw what has become of Dimitri. I have a request.
You're not a teacher anymore, and we're not your students, but everyone still calls you Professor. Is there something you'd rather be called? Oh? All right then, I'll call you... nope, sorry, can't do it. Too weird.
Come on. I heard we're headed to the Valley of Torment. I'm not exactly thrilled. That place is supposed to be really, really hot. Just the thought of it makes me uncomfortable. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Though, if our enemies attacked while I was here, that would be a pain too. Ugh, who names a place Valley of Torment? A more inviting name would have been nice. Valley of Endless Summer. Something like that.
Ailell, the Valley of Torment? What kind of a name for a place is that? It sounds scary. Do I really have to go with you? Hey, here's an idea. Maybe let the recluse stay home and hold the fort.
Professor.
Since the past, I have learned much of the language of Fodlan. But speaking the Fodlan language still gives me difficulty. I can understand, read, and write with nearly perfection now. But understanding and speaking are fruits of a different color. I have gratitude for you, Professor. I hope that I will have fluency one day.
Ugh, so hungry. I won't be able to train if I don't get some food in me. I used to eat until I was full, but nowadays, I can't even get seconds. Aren't reinforcements supposed to be joining us soon? I hope they bring food along with them. I still want my little sis to live in the town here, but there's no point if we can't even feed her.
No.
This won't do. I never do get used to the sight of blood. It always makes me feel as if I might faint. I suppose I've told you that, though, yes? I have no idea how you cope with it. I hope this war ends soon. I dislike being lightheaded because other people are bleeding everywhere. Though the thought of working hard for it does sound like quite a pain.
Let's see. Gotta clean out the storerooms, tend the flowers, do the washing, dust the library. No, this is my job. Lady Rhea herself gave it to me. Even if Lady Rhea's not here right now, I still gotta do my duty. Like you gotta have other stuff you ought to be doing, yeah?
By the way, the Kingdom Capital or the Imperial Capital? I don't know which is the right way. If we tried to take on the Empire like this, would we really stand a chance?
With House Fraldarius under attack, they probably can't spare many soldiers. On the other hand, if we did manage to take the Imperial capital, the war would be over. I'm no good at thinking through this kind of complicated stuff.
If we can take back the kingdom, we'll recover our soldiers. And some food and supplies too, I bet. Most importantly of all, there are people in the kingdom waiting for our help. Even His Highness understands that, I'm sure of it. Yet, he wants to take on the Empire despite all that. Do you think he just doesn't care about anything other than fighting Edelgard anymore? But if not, then why?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Is everyone setting out on a big campaign? Not exactly. Ah, so you're meeting up with the reinforcements. Well, you can leave guarding this place to me. I'll keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
Ailell, the Valley of Torment. Oh man, I really do not want to go there. That place is crazy hot. For guys like me, who grew up somewhere cold, man, it's gonna be rough. Though, I guess that climate will keep our enemies at bay. Someday we will take the Imperial capital. It is odd to think that I will be invading the very city that I once called home. Ah, that is still a ways off. I will prepare for our journey to Ailell.
Meeting reinforcements in the Valley of Torment seems an astute decision to me. In that land of oppressive heat, it is unlikely that we will be disturbed. It also means we will need to contend with those harsh conditions ourselves, however. Best ensure we are well prepared.
Say now, to the north of Garreg Mach lie the territories of the Cairn and Galatea houses, former lords of the kingdom. Even though their territory is being nibbled at by the Empire, they are still clinging to their neutrality. Since they only display enough force to defend their borders, I suppose the Empire has no incentive to attack them with any real strength.
There are enemy spies around. Remain vigilant. Capture anyone who seems suspicious. I'm glad you understand. I'm counting on you.
Okay. It seems some of our friends believe that if we get those reinforcements, we'll be set for provisions too. But I think it's best not to hold our breath on the food front. With the added headcount from the reinforcements, there will be even more mouths to feed.
The kingdom doesn't seem to have clear goals holding them together. Different people have different priorities. The situation right now is difficult. But at times like this, you have the opportunity to really shine, eh, Professor? You're in charge. Show them what you're made of. I'll do what I can to help.
Okay. I don't know about everyone else, but heading to the Empire seems like a good idea to me. The search for Lady Rhea will be so much easier if we can just get the Empire out of the way. I suppose Dimitri might still pose a problem, though. He seems so fixated on the Imperial capital, but I get the feeling he's not even sure what he wants anymore.
This is all a bit troubling, isn't it? The people from the kingdom seem to be of two minds as well. Can we really plan to fight when we're this unsure of ourselves? You think once we're face to face with the enemy, it might help us band together? I hope so.
Strategically speaking, our best move is probably to head for the kingdom capital. Though, I think it's more likely that Lady Rhea is in the Empire, so I would not object to taking the fight directly to Edelgard. There are no right or wrong answers in war. What do you think we should do? I hope with the goddess's guidance, we can make the right choice.
Gilbert was a knight to the royal family of Fargus? What was a man like that doing in Garreg Mach, I wonder? Who knows? Whenever I try to ask about it, he'd change the subject and avoid giving a proper answer.
We weren't related by blood, but Randolph was still my uncle. Seeing him end up that way was... Never mind. It's nothing. It's fine. I don't need your sympathy. It's not like I had any real connection with him anyway. But Dimitri's methods... I don't know. I'm sure he never trusted me, being born in the Empire and all.
Valley of Torment. Valley of Torment. I once read a book full of legends surrounding Ailell, but I can't seem to remember. I feel there's something dreadful I'm forgetting.
I can't believe it. The Valley of Torment. I'd heard of it, but I never expected to go there. It's exciting. I wonder what the landscape is like. That is an interesting point. The name does seem to suggest that.
Listen. Ailell, the Valley of Torment, lies on the border of 3 noble territories. The kingdom's Fraldarius and Galatea families, and the Alliance's Daphno family. Incidentally, the Galatea family was originally an offshoot from the Daphno family.
It has been only 5 years, yet so much has changed. Half of the kingdom has fallen to the Empire. Skirmishes are rife throughout the Alliance. Despite such tumult, we look upon the same sky, unchanged by the storm happening beneath it. Indeed, I gazed up at this same sky with Mother and Father. It does not feel so long ago at all. Wait, but how would you know, Professor?
The monastery repairs have made solid progress. Most excellent news. When we first returned here, I was unsure what we were going to do with the ruins of this place. But if we can get the cathedral rebuilt, we'll have it looking just like old times soon enough.
Maybe.
I have lived inconspicuously these past 5 years, so as not to be discovered by the Empire. To be able to finally return to the monastery again is overwhelming. I hope that our brothers and sisters who ran far away will also return one day.
It is imperative that we regroup with those who continue to resist. Most importantly, we must join up with the Fraldarius family. If we do, our ability to reclaim the kingdom capital is ensured. We should aim for this outcome, rather than focusing our efforts on the imperial capital. This seems to me the best strategy at present. But I feel what His Highness feels. His hatred, his anger, so keenly, as if it were my own. So I find it difficult to oppose his wishes.
Go away.
Having a meal together with Shamir. I'm happy and more than a bit nervous.
It's rude to ignore the professor like that.
Ooh, this is my favorite. You've got great taste.
This is delicious! My absolute favorite!
Oh, hey, Professor. Actually, I ran into that thief while I was shopping just now. Maybe you don't remember. It's been quite a while. The man who stole the book from that market stall. I saw him on the street with his kid. They were both so grateful. It's a really nice feeling. Yeah, but it did seem like they were still having trouble getting by. I guess what you said to me back then was right. My actions didn't really solve the problem. I can't help everyone, no matter how much I try. If I had the money or power, maybe, but I don't. You know, a long time ago, Leonardo said nearly the same thing to me. I think it was when I tried to look after the horses all on my own. I really messed that up. He said, "You're not quite ready for this yet, but there's no need to rush." I know I can't help very many people right now, but I think doing what I can for those I see in front of me is still worthwhile. I have to believe that, at least. Thanks. That's reassuring to hear. What about you, Professor? Has anything been troubling you lately? I'd be happy to help, as long as it's not looking after horses. You might not want to trust me with that. I genuinely enjoy helping people. It's a great feeling making someone smile. So if there's anything I can do for you, I want to do it, because I care about you. I didn't mean it in a romantic way. I just really look up to you. So what'll it be? How can I help? Of course! I'd be glad to cook with you.
Here I am. Oh, that aroma. My favorite tea. I thank you. Hot. Yes. Impressive. What? Impressive. Yes. I see. Join me for a sword training again. I want to know my victory isn't a fluke. Impressive. Professor. Hot. What? A swordsman treasures his hands. You knew that already, I'm sure. Join me for training later. I want to try something. I see. Thanks for your hospitality. I hope you'll invite me again sometime.
Great weather today. Perfect for shutting yourself inside, don't you think? glad you get it. With great weather like this, there'll be no one inside to bother us. I love feeling like I'm all alone in the world. Oh, that. Well, I guess I can tell you, Professor. My father's obsessed with money. He's only ever seen me as bait for a rich husband. To train me to be a good wife, he'd do things like tie me to a chair. I tried hard to do as he asked. Honestly, I did. But before I knew it, I just couldn't bring myself to leave my room anymore. I just had this overwhelming feeling of fear all the time. No matter how hard I tried, my father never thought I was good enough. After that, it was just constant scolding. He couldn't say 2 words to me without mentioning how useless I was. An unmarriageable girl. My life was isolated, to say the least. I wasn't allowed to play with other kids, let alone make friends. Soon, I stopped wanting that. I was happiest alone, but even that made him mad. And when he tried to drag me outside, I kicked and screamed so much, I seriously hurt myself. He's calmed down a bit in recent years. His constant torment was replaced with complete indifference. He mostly acts like I don't exist now. If you can believe it, I was basically kidnapped. My mother ordered an attendant to stuff me in a bag while I was sleeping. By the time I figured out what was going on, I was already here. For a while, I was sure I was going to die. But here I am. Look at me, still breathing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you down talking like that about my past. Just forget everything I told you. There's no point in talking about myself anyway. Idiot! Oh, this is why everyone hates you, Bernie! What? No, it's not... Oh, Professor! How can you be so kind to me? I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. Please don't look at me.
Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders. Huh. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still, I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leading the charge against the Empire. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. Relax, I was just having fun. You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone, but I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry though, I don't plan to turn on you.
Did you call me? Oh, this is my favorite tea. Do you... Have sugar? Lots, please. I am grateful. I feel at ease. Well now. One of the few pleasures I find is in eating sweets. It's kind of embarrassing. I see. Some sweets. Well now. Some sweets. Anything is fine. I see. Professor. Uh-huh. Well now. I see. Is that what you think? Some sweets. Anything is fine. My hair color is pretty unique, huh? Some sweets. Anything is fine. Tea is nice and all, but it's not much good when you don't have sweets to go with it. Ah, that tea was delicious. Invite me again sometime. See ya!
Having received the Kingdom Army's plea for aid, Rodrigue has agreed to provide soldiers. In order to meet up with their reinforcements, the Kingdom Army sets out for Ailell, the Valley of Torment.
This valley isn't a place I'd care to return to.
After the chilliness of Fargus, I can't seem to adjust to this extreme heat.
Historically, there have been battles whose outcomes were determined in part by the climate. You can't argue that this heat isn't a factor.
In conditions like these, who knows what will become of our morale.
Professor, be honest. How are you holding up? Monks once used this area as an ascetic training ground because of the intense environment. They say Ailell was born of the goddess's rage. If you believe the legends, this valley is evidence of the goddess's judgment, passed on humanity for its corruption. The forest that once covered the surrounding area was burnt to ash by a pillar of light that descended from the heavens. That legend fueled belief in a place of torment between our world and the next, where one's sins are purified in the cleansing flames.
Nonsense. Sins are not so easily washed away.
Indeed, and there are no accounts of such a place in Scripture. Yet those who cannot face their own sins have no choice but to cling to the idea.
I just don't think I can take this heat anymore. I think I'm starting to see things. Near those mountains over there. Is it just me? Or is there a group of people gathered there?
No. It would seem you are not hallucinating after all. Are those Rodrigue soldiers? No. But their banner is that of... No! It can't be.
That is House Rowe's banner. They curried favor with that witch and sold out Fargus.
We messed up. There must have been a spy among us. Will you have us meet them in battle, or wait for Rodrigue to arrive?
There is only one option. How kind of them to save us the trouble of killing them later. I will not repeat myself. That banner belongs to the Grey Lion. It's a waste of breath to exchange words with one such as him.
His Highness is correct. He is not an opponent whom we can expect to negotiate with. Everyone, prepare for the attack!
The Valley of Torment. Perhaps a good place to finish off my life as a knight. Only if that puny force of children is able to kill me, of course.
That man who raises the Lion's flag? Lord Gwendol. He is an elder knight who serves House Rome. Gwendol would, without thought, fight any battle if ordered. There is no chance of negotiating with him. Ailell is a deadly place. Flames burst from the ground with no warning. Sane people usually avoid it.
So, the flames of torment burn your sins, your life, your everything. If you wish to spare yourself the goddess's wrath, tread lightly.
So Cornelia has planted spies even inside Garreg Mach.
The shield of Fargus has appeared. We can expect more out of him than the young ones.
The man praised as a lion is degraded to a mere traitor's underling.
A traitor's underling? That's upsetting, Your Highness. I am, and always have been, a knight of House Rome.
How dare you! You are nothing but a lowly beast scavenging for scraps! You have forgotten the dignity of knighthood.
I may be lowly, but this beast is devoted to his master.
Then I had better kill the pet and deliver its head to that master.
Out of my way! So I have found a place to die. Young ones, I thank you.
It is the way of knights to follow their master's orders without argument. Lord Gwendol was a good man.
Now he is just a corpse, nothing more. Let's go. Rodrigue is waiting for us.
It's been too long, Your Highness. But try to temper your joy, will you? This is a war, after all.
To say such a thing at a time like this. You have not changed one bit.
Don't let looks deceive you. I've had a rough go of it ever since I crossed blades with those traitors in Ferdiad. When I heard you'd been executed, I rushed there as fast as I could, blind with fury. When I got there, I was fed some garbage about not being able to see your body. The next thing I knew, I was gripping my blade and... Gilbert, you have done well to locate His Highness. I am truly grateful. And you, I have you to thank as well. Well, we are in your debt. I will repay you for this someday, I swear it. And you, Felix, you have also done well to bring His Highness here.
Tell us all you know, Rodrigue.
I'm afraid there's not much to tell. You are aware that the western region of the kingdom was taken by the Empire, correct?
Yes, so I have heard. They are now calling it the Fargus Dukedom, or some nonsense.
If you know that much, then the rest won't take long. Enemy or not, it's undeniable that Cornelia's plan was nothing short of genius. After seizing power, She invited the Imperial Army to Ferdiat. There she reorganized her troops and then sent soldiers to hunt me down. Because of that, we were forced to act defensively, and now we're being forced into a difficult battle. She's been controlling the situation all along.
So that's been the witch's plan from the start. I should have killed her ages ago.
Your Highness, Ferdiat is in a terrible state right now. The tyranny is unbearable, and so the rebellions are endless. Refugees starve to death in the streets. If I may speak freely, Your Highness, we should change course for Ferdiat and take down those traitors before we embark to Enbar.
There's no time for that. We must annihilate Enbar before all else.
Think this through. I understand wanting to destroy the Empire and the Emperor. I want that so much it hurts. But which is more important, the dead or the living?
Silence!
No, Dimitri. You will hear me out.
Are you asking me? Asking the dead to forgive that woman?
No, I would not ask that of you. What I am asking is that you allow us to prioritize the Kingdom capital over the Imperial capital for now. As Lambert's close and trusted friend, I am confident that he would have advised the same.
Do not dare to put words in the mouths of the dead. They are your words alone, even if you borrow their lips. Until I offer up that woman's head, Father will remain a slave to his lingering regret and hatred. Even now, he suffers. It is ceaseless. As we waste time with idle chatter, his suffering continues!
You are my king. Our king. Wherever you lead, we will follow. But Your Highness, there are those who take up their sword in the name of revenge and yet along the way, lose the strength and composure to follow through. You would do well to bear that in mind. I nearly forgot. Take this, Your Highness. The time has come for it to be wielded by its true master.
Eretvar, the hero's relic once wielded by my father.
The very same. I managed to steal it back from one of Cornelia's underlings in Ferdiat.
Understated as ever, Father. It must have been a true struggle to get it back.
I am grateful, my friend.
Gilbert, Professor, may I request something of you? I wish to fight at your side.
Senile already, old man? Who will protect our territory?
I expected it would come to this, so I left those matters to my younger brother. He has my complete faith. I must keep my promise to our fallen king, to my dear friend. A very old one. I swore it nearly 10 years ago. Now then, Your Highness, let's destroy the Empire together. My men and I will spare no effort. I pray that you are right, and that this will save the kingdom. Our orders are to capture Enbar by striking the enemy's stronghold directly. How familiar are you with the geography of Fodlan? Then you must be aware that the kingdom and the Empire are separated by the impassable Ogma Mountains, right? Legend has it that Saint Seros once crossed over those mountains to fight against the fell king Nemesis. But don't fool yourself. Leading a large army over such steep mountains would be near impossible.
In order to infiltrate the Empire, we have no choice but to go around the mountains, either to the east or to the west.
Yes, I agree. The Alliance is currently split in two. Those who stand with the Empire and those who are against it. Leading the Imperial faction is House Gloucester, while House Regan leads those who oppose. We should take advantage of their internal conflict and proceed east along the mountains until we reach the Great Bridge of Myrden in Alliance territory.
The Aramid River divides Alliance and Empire territory. There are many large bridges that cross it. However, the Great Bridge of Myrden is by far the largest, and it is also closest to the monastery. I believe you crossed that bridge 5 years ago on your journey to the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. I'm afraid it's a possibility, but it's still more practical than passing through the west.
Perhaps our next move should be to contact House Regan and request their cooperation. Claude of House Regan is the leader of the Alliance and is firmly against the Empire. They are the enemy of our enemy. In other words, hopefully, a friend.
Are you suggesting that we ask House Regan to engage the Gloucester soldiers?
I am. If we take the bridge, then House Gloucester will no longer be able to receive support from the Empire. There's no way a man as wise as Claude would refuse our request.
And once we manage to capture the Great Bridge and gain a foothold into the Empire,
then we cross Gronder Field and head south toward Enbar.
But if we get attacked from both sides, we'll have to fight people from the Alliance, won't we?
Of course, if we get blocked in by the Alliance, we'll have to fight our way out. That means you'll have to cross blades with your old schoolmates.
If you do not wish to kill familiar faces, do not tarry over the corpses of the dead.
Good advice.
Prepare yourselves. It is time to steel your souls for the task at hand.
Annie, do you have a moment?
Is this about what happened when we were shopping? If so, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Not so fast. I haven't properly apologized yet. So, I'm sorry. I got scared. Imagine if something bad happened to you because of me.
Mercy.
You would have just run away if you were on your own, wouldn't you? Instead, you acted defensively because I was there. I dragged you down.
Mercy, you're upsetting me! How dare you say that you dragged me down? You know why I was acting so recklessly? Because I wanted to protect my best friend in the whole world.
Annie.
Do you remember when we first enrolled at the academy? It seemed like everyone was leagues ahead of us and so far out of reach. I felt completely hopeless. But because you were there, I didn't lose hope. So, don't say stupid things about how you dragged me down or how you don't deserve things.
Thank you for saying that. And again, I'm sorry. You're just so important to me. I know I could never find another friend like you. You've stayed by my side through thick and thin. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me.
Mercy, can we be friends again?
Of course, Annie. Friends forever.
Good. I don't know what I would have done if we hadn't found a way to make up.
I'm sorry. I should have said something sooner.
No, I'm the one who should have stopped being so stubborn and said something. You know, now that everything's as it should be, I'm suddenly starving.
That's just like you. Come, let's go for tea.
Ooh, let's! And we should have some Mercy-baked sweets on the side. I think I love you more than just about anything in the world.
You do? Oh, Annie, you're too sweet.
Not as sweet as your baking. I love your baking more than anything in the world, too. Other than you.
Well, I'm always happy to bake for you, Annie.
I'm so happy to have you bake, back.
Apologies for my late arrival, Mercedes. My duties ran long, as per usual.
There's no need to apologize at all. Please, have a seat. We've met for tea so many times, but you never seem to get used to it, do you, Ingrid?
Not entirely, no. I'm not accustomed to being treated so... delicately. Anyway, what will we talk about today?
I actually wanted to gripe about something that's been bothering me.
You? Gripe? Now that's unusual. I'm happy to listen, of course. It's the least I can do after all the kindness you've shown me.
Thank you. The one thing I really wanted to talk about is marriage.
Oh?
Yes. I received a letter from my adoptive father about marriage discussions with a noble family.
And will you accept?
That's the problem. No matter what I decide, I'll probably be married off anyway. What I really want to do is help those in need. But I think it would be more difficult to do so if I married a nobleman.
Understandably so. Sounds to me like you need a strategy to silence your father.
Sorry? To silence him?
Don't you agree? It seems the best course of action would be to consider severing all ties with the family and running away.
We don't need to go that far. I'm sorry, I really just needed to let that out. I don't need you to worry about solving my problems.
Oh, okay. It's just a bit personal for me, actually. My own father has brought countless marriage proposals to my attention. He always was obsessed with me carrying on the family bloodline. At a very young age, my hand had already been promised to someone in marriage. But Glenn died young.
That must have been difficult for you. Would you have married him if he had survived?
That's a good question. It's hard to imagine now. Although I did admire him quite a lot. He held true to the ideals of knighthood, proudly serving the king. Even after all these years, I aspire to be the type of knight that he embodied. But that's just it. I'm not a tool for furthering my family's fortunes. I'm a knight at heart, regardless of what my father desires.
I see. A very noble cause indeed. How strange that we should be worrying about the same thing.
Even though we are such different people.
It's true. Enjoying a nice chat over tea with you like this makes me realize maybe the paths we walk aren't so different after all. Don't you think?
I do. These tea parties of ours, they really are something special.
That they are. Ingrid, I would love to get to know you better if that's okay. I want to know about your childhood, your favorite books, the sweets you like, anything at all.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak with you anytime. And I want to know you better too, Mercedes.
Oh, Mercedes. This is unexpected.
Hello, Ferdinand. Did you come to pray?
I did. I quite like the atmosphere in the cathedral. It is holy and solemn. Perfectly suited to a noble, wouldn't you say?
I guess so.
You guess so? I think the matter is rather clear-cut. It is incumbent upon nobles that we pray regularly to the goddess. The piety of the nobles is a model for commoners. It teaches them the value of devotion.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. I couldn't agree more.
These days, many nobles scarcely, if ever, pray. Look around. You and I are alone in this cathedral. It is really quite a shame.
Well, I don't really know that I count as a noble anyway.
I am afraid the nobility seems to be losing its way. When you pray, you are usually alone, right?
Yes, you're right. I usually am.
Precisely. Where are the others? Of course you cannot force people to worship. That is out of the question. Nobles must determine for themselves what they will believe and how they will pray. A religion foisted on you without your say is not much of a religion at all. Do you not agree?
Yes, I definitely agree. Definitely agree.
On the other hand, we cannot stand idly by while...
It was great talking to you, but I'm getting pretty sleepy. I'm gonna head off to bed. Good night.
All in all, one has to conclude. Mercedes, where did she go? I must have inspired her to go out and revive the faith. Perhaps I should do the same. I cannot let her show me up.
Just look at this place. It's so beautiful, I believe I should take a nap and enjoy it properly.
Linhart, lost in thought, I see. Unacceptable. Are you not aware that a noble's duty is to be ever vigilant?
Rest increases alertness. Is there something I can do for you, Ferdinand?
Well, I was just passing by, and I thought I could give you a little advice. You always seem to be napping. Why not spend your free time doing something productive?
Easier said than done, Ferdinand. I'm afraid I suffer from a constitution that tires easily.
Some training will remedy that. Let us work on that today. I will train you myself. Arise, Linhardt. The righteous path of the noble lies before you.
You're always giving it your all, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Is there something wrong with that?
Of course not. In fact, I rather enjoy your demeanor. You go all out even when others wish you wouldn't. You work hard, inspire the admiration of others, and your dignity as a noble is beyond reproach.
I consider it my mission to serve as a guide and a model for other members of the nobility.
As capable as you are striking. Next to you, I am a mere infant.
Oh, you are far too kind. Although I do work hard each day to achieve all of which you speak.
You've mastered all the important noble skills. You drink tea, talk about how great you are, ride horses.
Indeed. I went for a ride earlier today.
Is that so? You'll have to tell me about it sometime when I'm not walking away.
Where are you going?
I must get some sleep, being the infant that I am. Farewell for now, Ferdinand, oh noble among nobles.
Noble among nobles? Seems a bit much. Did he say get some sleep? Hey, wait!
That settles that. And don't even think about brawling around here again.
Impressive, Caspar. Well done.
Hey, Ferdinand, did you see that fight?
I saw it from start to finish. Both parties were at fault, disturbing the peace. Then you stepped in and corrected their behavior. You are setting a good example. I am proud to call you my fellow noble.
Your fellow noble? I wasn't even thinking about nobility. That had nothing to do with it.
Excuse me, nothing? Resolving conflicts among common folk is a duty of the nobles. Is that not what you were doing?
I guess so. But it was more like instinct or something. I saw people acting out of line and I had to step in.
Ah, you were acting on impulse. You might be better served following moral convictions rather than instincts. Take me, for example. I always bear in mind that I am a noble and behave accordingly. The fortunate must help the unfortunate. That is my guiding principle.
I never have any idea what you're talking about. If someone's in trouble, you gotta help them out. Simple as that.
A difference of opinion, you might say. Very well then. Believe what you will. I will not expend energy trying to change your mind.
Maybe all of this noble stuff just isn't for me. Hey! Don't walk away when I'm talking to you!
That was my worst mistake yet. Why am I so clumsy all the time? The women laughed and forgave me, but... Oh, how am I supposed to face them now?
Hey there, Annette. What's with the sour face? Everything okay? I don't think I've ever seen you look so miserable.
Don't tease me like that, Caspar. Can't you see I'm down?
Sorry. You know I didn't mean it. Did something happen? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I think talking it out might help.
You might be right about that. Are you sure you don't mind?
Not at all.
Well, today they were short on staff in the dining hall, so I offered to help out, but I sort of messed up. Big.
Oh no. What happened?
All the plates in the kitchen went flying through the air, and the pots started giving off this weird blue steam.
Wow, sounds more like art than cooking to me.
The people in the dining hall saw the chaos and started panicking, and then soldiers came running. Finally, Catherine appeared and shut everyone up with a slash of Thunderbrand. All I was trying to do was help out. But in the end, I just ended up making more work for everyone. I'm awful like that.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Accidents happen. It's not like you were trying to make a mess.
I know. The women at the dining hall laughed and forgave me. But...
Was anyone hurt?
Well, no, but...
Well, there you go! No need to dwell on it and keep moping around. You had a bad day, but I'm sure you'll do better tomorrow.
You know what? You're right. I guess all I can do is try harder next time. Thanks, Caspar. That really did help me feel better. I can't keep moping around. I've got to work on my cooking skills. And I can count on you to be my taste tester, right? Right.
Sure. Just as long as you're not making any new art projects.
I guess taking them all up in one go is a bad idea.
Annette? Are you okay with all those boxes?
Linhardt! Hi, I'm so glad you're here. I don't know if I'll be able to handle all these. I thought I may as well get it over with, so I decided to carry them all at once. Big mistake.
Smart thinking. Do it all at once. That's what they say, right? Work smart, not hard. I think you've got it from here, so I'm off to take a nap. Good luck.
But maybe you could help. Nope, gone. It's fine. It is fine. Just a little further to my quarters. I've got this. I'll just... Huh? They didn't fall.
That was almost pretty bad.
Linhardt, I thought you had an important nap to get to.
I'd call it insomnia, but I suppose it was really just a guilty conscience. I came to see if you needed help. And, sure enough, here you are, about to tip all the boxes on the floor.
Thanks. Though it may have been best if you had just chipped in from the start.
Huh? But it was your job. Why would I step in? You clearly had things handled.
Then why help me at all?
If the boxes had fallen just now, everyone would have had to help tidy them up anyway. If anything broke, more boxes would need to be carried. And if all of that came to pass, then there'd be noise and more noise and no chance of my taking a nap.
Huh. But if you had helped me from the start, there would have been no danger of anything being dropped at all.
Correct. But there was no danger yet, and so there was no need for my help. So I left you to it. Try carrying one box at a time instead of straining to do it all at once. Work smart, not hard, as they say. All right, well, I think you've got it from here, so I'm off. Good luck.
After all that, he's not gonna help me.
Petra, would you pause a moment?
Yes? Are you wanting something?
I was observing your spear work, and I wonder if you don't think your transitions are sloppy. The way you move your arm before a strong thrust hinders your movement and slows your spear on its way back. It leaves a rather large opening.
Which arm? My left or right?
I think the right... No, actually it's both. It's something about the way you move your elbows.
I am not understanding. Can you show me, please?
Demonstrate? No, I'd hate to get sweat all over my book.
But I must correct this. Please. Or are you unable to do, and you can only teach?
I am more of a theorist than a practitioner. I advise and you implement. Very simple.
Then, please advise again.
It's all quite simple. Sometimes you make a big stab downwards, right? Before that, you lift up. At that point, you sort of let the tension go and stop. It ruins the momentum of the stab.
How can I be lifting up with no unnecessary moving?
It's the arm movement that's extraneous. Calculate the locus of the spear and the elasticity of the muscles.
Locus? Elasticity? Can you not just be showing me? Please. If you are showing me, I will learn it with quickness.
I won't waste your time with such demonstrations. You're a smart one, Petra. You'll sort it out. Besides, I need to go now. I have a prior appointment to keep.
Linhardt only likes talking. It is on myself to prevail.
Manuela, isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone the moment you see them enter the room?
Hanneman, isn't it a bit rude to tell others how to behave? Besides, I could be sighing about any number of things more interesting than you.
goodness, you're unusually irritable today. Don't you imagine your attitude a bit excessive? You snap at every little thing, your ill mood on display for one and all. It saddens me to see such behavior from one who should be setting a good example for the younger generation.
Well, listen to the noble lecturing a lowly commoner to be on her best behavior. Oh, wait, I meant to say, the former noble.
I fail to understand how my birth is relevant to the topic at hand. I was merely trying to say that as a fellow adult...
You're not done lecturing yet? Leave me alone and go pester someone else. Maybe leave everyone alone and go focus on your precious crest research.
I don't know what to say to you, Manuela. I was only speaking out of honest concern.
Oh, was that a sigh I heard? Isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone just because?
Don't be so childish. You are so sensitive to ill will from others, yet you let your own emotions run wild. Why is it that you cannot keep a handle on yourself?
Keep a handle on? Well, I've never. What makes you think you're so much better? Just because you keep your emotions bottled up behind your stupid, stony face, well, it doesn't mean everyone else has to do the same. Stop telling everyone how to behave, Hanneman. It will make you and the rest of us much happier.
I will not stand for this insolence. It is high time someone taught you.
Go on! If you think you can change me, I'd like to see you try. Ha! Thought so. You wouldn't dare.
Absolutely insufferable.